What's going on, everyone? Little vlog, little rant, little advocacy, begging you, please. Actually, I'm not really begging. I'm really just tired of hearing people say, oh, they're an avid vapor, oh, this and that. You know, they love vaping so much, you know, this and yet, you know, when it comes time for these local city and state and even FDA and stuff votes, and, you know, they want to hear our opinions and hear from us, we have such tiny turnouts. You know, they get so few emails. And honestly, it's really apparent by all the cities and states that are actually passing new laws against vaping. So, you know, don't sit here on Facebook, don't sit here on Instagram, on Twitter, don't sit here in your local vape shop talking about how you love vaping. Yeah, you can't write a few stinking emails, you know. Man, at the end of the day, that's all it really takes. Write a few emails and vote. They see who's voting and who's not voting. And you can see that every election. Because when it's not, when these elected representatives don't have a tight race, they don't care about anybody that doesn't vote on a consistent, regular basis. They don't care. And they don't care about you throughout the year while they're in term. They don't care. But yeah, you know, you think they do because, you know, when they got a tight race, all of a sudden, oh, now they care about the young vote. Now they care about this vote and that vote. Yeah, of course they do. It's a tight race. They need every vote they can get. But in the middle of the year, when the voting's not going on, it's not a voting year, who do they care about? These big companies who pays for their ad campaigns. And they care about the consistent voters. The people that are there every voting session. Not just when it's the presidential, you know, none of that stuff. That's why we need to consistently be out there voting, writing letters, emails, calling. It doesn't matter. Do it. I write an email to my representatives every week. My city, my state, and then my federal representatives every week. Just to bug the hell out of them. It's their job to listen to me. So I'm going to make sure, you know, they at least are seeing an email come from me every now and then. And why? Because they know that I'm going to be there at the polls. I'm going to be there voting. That's why. They know that. You know, my generation, just in case nobody knows, I'm turning 28 on the 25th of June here. My generation and the generation after me, we're the biggest generations. We've surpassed the baby boomers, which was a first. Yeah, we're the lowest numbers to actually go out and vote. Unless something special's going on, you know. We're the lowest numbers to actually vote. And then we sit here and bitch and complain that, you know, our representatives don't care. Of course they don't care. We don't vote. Why would they care? It ain't nothing to them to hear you bitch and complain. They don't care about that. You don't vote. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to you really need to vote. You need to vote, and you need to let your officials know that you're here. Hey, I'm here. I vote. I vape. You better listen or you won't be getting my vote. And if you think our votes don't matter, let me put it to you like this. Obama started out with the lowest funding ever for a presidential nominee. Well, maybe not ever. But he started out with some really low funding. But because he got the young support, my generation and the generation after me support, people started giving him money now. You know, these big companies, they started donating to him. Why did they do that? Because they knew he had the young vote. He knew that if all of us, everybody in my generation and the next, got out there and voted, and we voted for Obama, everybody after us, everybody, you know, that came before us, all the generations before us, they could all vote together for whoever that was running against Obama. They could all vote together for that person, and Obama would still run. But yet we don't hit the voting like that. We need to. If you don't care about who's in president, if you don't care about none of that, but all you care about is vaping, okay, vote. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter who you vote for. It does not matter if you vote Republican or Democrat. What matters, or independent or whatever, all that matters is that you vote and that you let these officials know that you're here. And you vape. Hell, I write my officials so much, I start getting emails from them letting me know that they got something going on and they're wondering how I feel about that. I promise you, look, I wrote Baltimore City, where I live, a while ago, probably 5-6 years ago now, had a plastic bag tax thing they were going to do, where they were going to tax every plastic bag, and they were going to put it on the consumers. So if you went and shopped and you needed a plastic bag, you were going to have to pay 10 cents. I wrote my city councilman. I emailed him every day. And when it started getting close to the time for them to vote on it, I emailed him twice a day. And I'm sure I wasn't the only one doing that. But you know what happened? Not only before the vote did he say he was going to vote not in favor of it, he emailed that to me personally. He emailed that he was going to vote not in favor of it, but he knows that they were going to pass some sort of tax on it. What would I feel would be right? I said, honestly, it doesn't matter as long as we're not paying for it. And what ended up happening is stores now have to be responsible for how many plastic bags they give out, and if they give out too many, they have to pay a tax. Because what they were doing wasn't right. And all you need to do is let them know you're here, you vote, you count, you care. And believe me, if you bug the hell out of them enough, they're going to let you know, and they're going to, at the very least, they're going to have some kind of dialogue with you. You know, I mean, I'm not up to date on everything that's going on everywhere in the world. I can't tell you, you know, what's going on in Kentucky or whatever. I mean, if I catch a headline about, you know, vaping in Kentucky, yeah, I might know. But I know what's going on in my state. I know that because we turned out in such big numbers statewide, they didn't even put it to a vote for some vaping regulations in the state. We turned out in huge numbers. Not only did we turn out in big numbers, we turned out in big numbers by emailing and calling, and they didn't even make it to a vote. The committee said, no, we're not even going to put this up there. That's just in Maryland. If we did that all over, there would be no stopping it. But we don't. We don't. And it's proof by the fact that Baltimore City passed some regulations. And they're not horrible, but we just didn't turn out in big numbers. They kind of swept it in and nobody really knew about it until the last minute. But even then, when we found out, we didn't turn out big numbers like we did for the state, because statewide it was easier gathering from a much larger group. But we didn't turn out for Baltimore City like that, and we should. And it doesn't matter if you see something going on in Kentucky and Utah and California and Indiana, Illinois, Maryland, New York. Write those elected officials. If you care, write those elected officials. Trust me. While they don't care because you're not a voter in their state, they care that you're letting them know that they don't have your support. And they won't have your support. And you won't be spending your money there. And trust me, that hurts them. Especially if we have enough people letting them know, hey, I will never spend my money in Indiana. I will never spend my money in Kentucky. That hurts them. It really does. If you think it doesn't, it does. Especially when we have numbers. When we have the numbers behind us. I mean, the most important numbers are those state numbers. The most important numbers are those city numbers, yes. But when we have people from all over saying, hey, you'll never get my business, you'll never have my support, that's when change will happen. I mean, it's true with anything you want to advocate for, but it's so true with vaping, because so many of us are, my generation and the next generation. We're the votes they care, they need. The baby boomers are getting older, they're passing away. We're the votes they need. That's why they care so much. Anytime we get behind something. That's why gay marriage was getting passed left and right back, a few years ago. Because we were getting out there in support of it. That's why Colorado, Washington State now have legal marijuana, because we were out there in support of it. If you think I'm kidding, just look at anything that Young Vote gets behind, and we get it. So we have gambling in Maryland, which I'm 50-50 about, but that's a different story. I mean, if you really want to get honest with me, I don't give a fuck. I'm an outlaw. Always been an outlaw. I might be reformed and changed my ways a bit. But if they make vaping illegal, I'm still going to vape. Honestly, they can't really stop something that we have built up out of garages, that we've built up out of our kitchen. They can't stop that. I got nicotine and suspended in VG sitting in the freezer at home. Just chilling. Why? In case that we lose our good juices, in case they make it so only big tobacco can produce juice. I'm gonna make some at home. Yeah, it won't be none of these great flavors I like and love, but it'll be a lot better than anything big tobacco will put out. I can make my own box mods. I can make my own tube mods if I really want to. So, I can make my own RDAs. So really, I'm asking you all, get out there, vote. Get out there, let your elected officials know you're here, you vape. You vote. Hell, just let them know you're here and that you vape. It's a lot. So please, send your elected officials an email. Write the FDA. Y'all vape on, stay bearded. I'm gonna try to get some work done today.